Maybe you've heard a lot lately in the message boards or on TV or even at your team about growth plates and growth plate related injuries. Well, today, noted pediatrician Dr. Joy Maxey is going to join us, and we're going to talk about growth plate injuries. So stay tuned to Clubhouse Gas. We're joined again by Dr. Joy Maxey. Dr. Maxey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hearing a lot lately about growth plate injuries. First, I want to know what, in fact, is a growth plate.
Well, a growth plate is found only in children. Once one has gone through puberty, part of that process is the long bones, your arm bones and leg bones basically, the plates, the opening at the ends of the bones that allow for growth close off. So growth plates are something unique to pediatrics, and it is the way that the body allows for long bone growth so that the child can grow and develop as they should.
If you injure one of those growth plates, do you inhibit the growth process?
You can. And indeed, children who have sustained serious growth plate injuries have had one limb shorter than the other, or have gone through multiple surgeries to try to lengthen that limb, or they have had other sorts of problems such as chronic pain from those injuries. And so it can be a really big deal.
So what leads to these injuries? What activities or practices lead to growth plate injuries?
Well, any type of overuse of a particular joint or set of joints sets one up for growth plate injuries. The common one that you hear about the most is probably baseball. Others can include things like tennis and or sometimes surprisingly swimming and also football. And so these are particulars, like especially if you're a pitcher and you're doing the same repetitive motion over and over and over. We often see this too in our gymnasts because they're doing moves that require hyperflexion, hyperextension, and they do this on a over and over repetitive basis. And so that's another group where we see a lot of these injuries as well.
So overuse.
Basically, that's the primary culprit.
Which is something that you harp on often.
That is correct. That is correct. Balance is the key word, balance.
Dr. Maxey believes in balance. So which group of kids are most at risk for growth plate injury?
Well, the group at most risk are the kids that are experiencing their greatest growth velocity. And so in plain English, that's basically your 10 to 14, maybe 15-year-olds. And so at the same time, this is the same group of kids that are becoming more interested in sports, and sports are part of their school curricula, and they want to participate. And so again, it's back to balance and having a rational approach to training and sports participation. And so the things that you would want to do is, first of all, the biggest risk to growth plate injuries is, in addition to your age and growth velocity, is repetitive motion. So workouts need to be varied. Kids need complete days of rest a couple of times during the week where they're not doing any of that kind of motion. And if there is an injury sustained, then there needs to be prompt professional medical evaluation of that injury to make a determination of its significance and what should be done and how much rest and rehabilitation needs to take place so that you don't continue to injure the growth plate.
So switch it up, make sure they get looked at by doctors, and do not continue to repeat the same motion over and over again, and give kids plenty of rest.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Maxey. We really appreciate it. That's going to do it for us today. We'll see you right back here next time for another edition of Clubhouse Gas.